Hey guys, Sarah Boone is very concerned that you know what her truth is, but she doesn't want to tell you what that is yet. She did talk to the police about it though, and that was before she ended up in jail, right? And in telling her truth to the police then, did she talk her way maybe out of first-degree murder, but right into second-degree murder? I saw some comments about the latest filings in her case saying, well, why is she charged with second-degree murder instead of first-degree murder? So let's take a look at it. And remember, murder is generally a state crime. It can be called different things. It can have different stratification, all depending on what state you're in. Some don't even have first and second degree, but Florida does, and we'll take a look at it. So let's set the stage here and show this. Some facts about this. Note that, of course, you know that Jorge was trapped in a suitcase until he died, right? But also noted in his autopsy, along with scratches, were contusions to his left shoulder, his left skull, and forehead contusions. Those are considered blunt force trauma, and a cut near his busted lip. So something happened, right? Something happened beyond that he was in a suitcase. There was some thought about perhaps that she pushed him down the stairs. I don't know that. I will say, and I made a note here, that the suitcase was in different positions in the two videos that she recorded. So somehow it moved in that time frame. What happened to cause those injuries are not on the video. But some bad things for Sarah are on the video. Anyway, in the arrest affidavit, the officer notes that based on Sarah's inconsistent statements on what occurred in the videos found on the iPhone, I believe probable cause exists to charge her with second-degree murder. Torres is dead, and his death was caused by her criminal act. Sarah zipped him in a suitcase where he could not get out. He begged repeatedly for her to let him out, saying he couldn't breathe, and she left him in a suitcase. And of course, she basically cussed him out and says, this is what you get, and all that, while she left him in there. And then she eventually went upstairs and went to sleep. I think that's true. Note the officer here says that the actions were imminently dangerous and demonstrated a depraved mind without regard for Jorge's life. And we'll see what he means by that. Let's look at this next set here. Slide, which is the statutes, or are the statutes in Florida for murder that we're going to talk about. The first one is murder in the first degree, the unlawful killing of a human being when perpetrated from a premeditated design to effect the death of the person killed or any human being. That's murder in the first degree, capital felony. The key there is premeditated design. As at the bottom, you see under sub 2, the unlawful killing of a human being when perpetrated by any act imminently dangerous to another and evincing a depraved mind. And that's what the officer said in the arrest affidavit. Regardless of human life, although without any premeditated design to affect the death of a particular individual, that's second degree murder. So if you're killing somebody and you didn't plan to kill them ahead of time, you weren't exactly thinking, I do want to murder this person, but what you were doing was so dangerous that it was imminently dangerous and evinced a depraved mind, heedless of human life. And that, I think, fits the situation with Sarah, right? It was very dangerous to leave him in that, to zip him up in it and then leave him there. I'm sure that wasn't his plan to be left in there. And it didn't show any regard to his life, especially as he was begging for his life. And she basically laughed that off, went upstairs and went to sleep. Let's take a look here at the jury instruction language in Florida for premeditation, because that's the difference between first degree and second degree. So killing with premeditation is killing after consciously deciding to do so. The decision must be present in the mind at the time of the killing. In other words, you want to kill this person. That's what you're thinking while you're doing the killing. There's no exact period of time. That's true pretty much everywhere. That must pass between the formation of the premeditated intent to kill and the killing. The period of time must be long enough to allow reflection by the defendant. The premeditated intent to kill must be formed before the killing. And then that's up to the jury, right? So that's really what the situation is here is, could it be said that she premeditated the murder here? And does the evidence show that? I understand one could think that, maybe not that she planned days ahead to get him into a suitcase, but that when he was in it and it was obvious he might not survive it, you could think, well, she was okay with him dying then. She wanted to kill him. But I think the police did the right thing here, which is saying, well, there's not evidence there that says that that was her plan, was to murder him. But there is evidence to show that she didn't care whether he died or not. She was going to leave him in this perilous situation, heedless of human life, a dangerous act of zipping him up in the suitcase and then abandoning him there. And she went upstairs and went to sleep. So if you remember in her interviews, she kept trying to tell the police, hey, I didn't intend to do this. I didn't intend for it to happen. And I think she thought as long as she said that, she would be in no or little trouble, not understanding that second-degree murder can be filed without intent to murder, but rather engaging in this super dangerous act that's heedless of human life. And that's what she did. So she maybe talked herself out of first-degree murder in those interviews, but she talked herself right on into second-degree murder. And maybe she's become educated on that at this point, because now she's shifting gears, wanting an expert to talk about that she was a battered partner, battered spouse type thing. And that therefore what that's useful for is self-defense. I don't think so. You know, if you're terrified of somebody, zip them up in a suitcase, mock them, and then go upstairs and go to sleep, because what if they get out? They'll be even more angry. If she left and fled to the police or a hospital or something, maybe there'd be some angle there, but it's not what she did. She stayed there and went to sleep until he died. So to my mind, second-degree murder is a fair charge for this. I could understand why somebody might think it should be first-degree, but I don't see the evidence there. I see it basically like what the police said. Beyond a reasonable doubt, you can show that she's guilty of second-degree murder without anything else. It might be tough to go first-degree, and why mess this case up? Put the right charge on, and that's what they've done. Well, that's it. Thanks, and bye.